So Jaime Jaquez Jr. has been having a breakout rookie season for the Miami Heat, and he has definitely been the second best player from his draft class, and he is a dark horse candidate for Rookie of the Year this season. But with that being said, today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this Jaime Jaquez Jr. build on NBA 2K24. But with all of that out of the way, man, let's get started with today's video. Let's go. Gentlemen, it is also the holiday season. If you're looking to buy a gift for a loved one or just a gift for yourself, you can go to pristinejerseys.com and buy some super high quality jerseys at a low price. Link is going to be in the description down below. All right, man, so realistically, when you guys are making this build, you can make it at two positions. You can either make it at small forward or shooting guard. I ended up making it at small forward, but you can make it at shooting guard if you want to. Height is going to be 6'6", weight 210 pounds with a 7'3" wingspan for this build. All right, so starting things off with the finishing, you're going to have an 86 close shot, which is going to get you fearless finisher on gold. We're also going to have an 82 driving layup, which is going to get you spin cycle on Hall of Fame. I wanted to get that badge on Hall of Fame because Jaquez actually really likes going to his spin layups pretty often, so I thought having that badge on Hall of Fame was really important on this build. Then we're also going to have a 70 driving dunk, which is going to get you a bunch of really great dunk packages, which include Luka Doncic as well as Klay Thompson. You're also going to have a 45 standing dunk, so you can get some basic standing dunk animations, and then a 75 post control, so you can actually get in the post, hit some post spins, and do some damage. All right, now let's take a look at some of these finishing highlights. And listen, man, you're going to be able to score often on this build when down in the paint. You're going to be able to score a lot in transition as well if you know how to properly run a fast break. It's pretty simple. Once a shot goes up, you just haul your butt cheeks to the other goal. But yeah, you're going to be a good threat when it comes to scoring in transition, and you're also going to be really good in a half-court set because you do have a little bit of a layup bag on this build, like I mentioned. We ended up going with that 82 driving layup so we can get badges like Spin Cycle on Hall of Fame, and we're also going to get things like two-step on gold. And layups are just really good this year. I mean, you guys can see the meter size of some of these layups that I'm going up with on this build. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of moves in your arsenal on this build, even though you didn't really upgrade your driving layup a whole lot. The scoops are gonna be great, the Euro steps are gonna be great, the hop steps, the spin layups are all good, and one thing that I haven't even mentioned just yet, the floaters. Guys, if you haven't played 2K24 at this point, you should know that floaters are absolutely insane this year. Now take a look at this right here, man. We're gonna go into this pick and pop situation right here with the big. We're driving, hit him with the spin layup. I don't even know how that's properly timed. Okay, I can't time this layup meter to save my life. I can time jump shots without any issue, but I half bar the layup meter pretty consistently, which is why I've turned the layup meter off after I started using this build. But again, man, just a couple more finishing clips right here. Driving baseline, hit him with the floater, late closeout. It's a wide open and it goes in right here. We're getting the ball, go into a hezzy, back to that spin layup, and that was kind of nasty. There was like 11 seconds left in that game. It was kind of garbage time, but I thought it was still a clean bucket. All right, so now moving on to the shooting for this build, you're going to have a 72 mid-range shot, which is going to get you Midi Magician on silver, and you're also going to have an 82 three-point shot to get Claymore on gold. Now, although Jaime Jaquez has taken some great strides to become a better three-point shooter, especially in comparison to his college days, that mid-range shot is still not hitting super consistently. And as you can see right there, you can still definitely hit one of his go-to moves, which is the half spin shot. He did it a lot back in his UCLA days if you ever want to watch his college highlights. But take a look at this right here. We set up in a 5-out offense, hit him with the hardest step back jumper. That's wide open and that's cash, man. Listen, it was weird that we were in a 5-out in the first place because I was only playing with one other person. So the fact that we naturally just set up in a 5-out there was kind of weird, but hey, I liked it. But again, man, on this build, just like Jaime in real life, you're going to be a decent three-point shooter. Look at this. Shot goes up. We're boxing out, getting the rebound, kicking back out. This is the type of stuff you could do on this build. I haven't talked about it yet, but we'll get to it in just a minute. Get the ball right here. That's a midi pull-up. Listen, man, 72 midi is not super easy to hit with, but you can still do it if you know your timing. And one really big disclaimer that I kind of do want to make with this build is that it's not a meta build. Let's be real. It's not a meta build. You don't have a high midi. You don't have a super high three. You don't have crazy defense on this build. And obviously, we'll talk about that later on in this video. But again, man, if this is a build that you want to make because you like Jaime Jaquez Jr. and you just want to make a build that replicates his game, go ahead, be my guest. But I'm not going to come out of here and say that this is like one of the best builds I've played on this year because it is absolutely not, but it is a fun build. It replicates a specific NBA player very well, and it's fun to use. But now let's take a look at the jump shot that we were using on this build. We were using base Ben Shepherd. Upper release 1 is Troy Brown Jr. Release 2 is Kyle Korver. You see the grades on it. For this level of a three-pointer, this is actually a very good jump shot to use. All right, so now let's talk about the playmaking on this build. For the playmaking, you're going to get a 75 pass accuracy, which is going to get you break starter on silver, as well as 2 pass styles, which include John Morant and Domantas Sabonis. Now, if you want to use those pass styles, you absolutely absolutely can, but at this pass level rating, I prefer to just use no passing styles. Then moving on to the ball handle and speed with ball, we're going with 81 and 75 respectively, and that is going to get you speed booster on silver. And with that 75 speed with ball, you're going to get access to a plethora of dribble styles that you can use on this build, which range from Pro, Magic Johnson, Zach LaVine, LeBron James. The meta is definitely Magic Johnson. Everybody loves using Magic Johnson, but my personal favorite dribble style this year is definitely Pro. All right, so now let's move on to these passing highlights and playmaking highlights. And listen, man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, 75 pass accuracy is pretty good. It's not an insane level of pass accuracy. It's not your elite 95, 91, but 75 is going to get the job done. And if you play with your head up and you know where people are on the court, you're going to be able to make these passes, and you're going to be able to just get open teammates and hit them for assists and whatnot. And it's pretty similar to how Jaquez is in real life. He's not like the most elite playmaker in the world, but he's got a good feel for the game. He can find guys when they are open and make the right read for the most part, but he's not like somebody like Tyrese Halliburton, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic when it comes to like the upper echelons of like the best playmakers in the game. And this is the thing that Heat fans, Heat players, Heat coaches, pretty much everybody within the Heat organization say about Jaquez, where he's always trying to make the right play, and that definitely shows with his playmaking. And since we've been talking about Jaime Jaquez a lot in this video, comment down below what you guys think about him so far, what you think about his season, what you think about his potential career could be like. Me personally, even though I am a Heat fan and I can be biased at times, I think he is definitely a high floor to low ceiling type of player. And this is kind of expected when you draft an older rookie that's played multiple years in college, like he did at UCLA. He played a lot of years of college basketball, so he's not like a one and done type of player that's 19 years old coming into the league raw with lots of talent, but isn't as disciplined and doesn't know the game as much as some of the older players would. But since he is an older rookie and he definitely falls into that type of draft prospect, we kind of know how this might pan out when it comes to his career. More than likely, he's just going to be the type of player that has a really high floor, comes into the league, plays really well off the rip because he has a better feel for the game than some of the other rookies in his class, but he's going to have a low ceiling, and there might not be a crazy level of development that we might see from somebody like Chet Holmgren or Victor Wembanyama or Sar Thompson. But if you guys were wondering, here are all of the playmaking moves that I was using on this build for today's video. All right, so now moving on to the defense, we're going to have a 75 perimeter defense, which is going to get you bronze clamps. You'll also have bronze challenger on this build, which is very nice. You're also going to have an 85 steal, which is going to get you glove and interceptor on silver, which are both really great badges in this year's game. A 68 block, so you can get chase down artist on bronze, so you can get some chase down blocks, which is very nice to have on this type of build. A 60 offensive rebound and a 77 defensive rebound, so you can get rebound chaser on bronze, and then you're also going to get box out beast on silver with that 77 defensive rebound rating. Now I want to make something very clear with the ratings that I gave on this build. Jaime Jaquez is a very good defender, but he can struggle sometimes in isolation. This is something that also goes back to his college days. He has a lot of hustle, plays with a lot of grit, but he's not as athletically gifted as a lot of other players that play his position. So when he has to guard faster players in one-on-one situations, he can get beat. But he's a good team defender. He plays well overall as a defender, and he can definitely get some steals, especially passing lane steals. So we wanted to make sure that we could do that on this build. But as you can kind of see on this build, you can kind of do a little bit of everything. You can defend at a decent rate, you can score, you can get passing lane steals, you could rebound, you could kind of just do a little bit of everything on this build, but you're not going to be elite at anything. And that kind of replicates Jaquez's game as well. He's definitely something along the lines of like a prospect build in NBA 2K. And now when coming out of the My Player Builder, you are going to get the player comparisons of Danny Granger, Jimmy Butler, and Mikal Bridges on this build, and you're going to get the build name Inside Out Threat. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This was a fun video to make. This is definitely one of my favorite new players in the league, especially considering he plays for my favorite team. And that's going to be it for today's video. I'm out. Peace.